The name of this program is United Nations Week News and Views. My name is John Kerry. The views expressed are mine alone unless I indicate some other source. And the purpose of the program is to put before you information about recent events at the UN that you may not come across any other place. Today I want to talk about unsafe UN safe areas. Safe areas. This takes us back 15 years to 1995. And the reason we're going back that far is because just in the last week or so, certain individuals have been found guilty in the International Criminal Court for the former Yugoslavia. The tribunal has meted out sentences to 7 individuals, ranging from a few months in prison all the way up to life in prison. Now, those who were sentenced were former Bosnian Serb military and police officials, and they were sentenced for their part in the massacre of Muslim men and boys in July 1995. The International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia is a UN creation. It is separate from the UN, but related in its origins. The court found that at least 5,336 Muslims, possibly as many as 7,826, were executed following the fall of the city of Srebrenica, and that there were 2 joint criminal enterprises in eastern Bosnia in July 1995. One joint criminal enterprise was to murder the able-bodied Bosnian Muslim men from Srebrenica. The other was to forcibly remove the Bosnian Muslim population from Srebrenica and Zepa. Question is, could the UN have done anything to prevent this slaughter? I've researched UN records from the period in an effort to find out why the UN, with armed peacekeepers in the area, was not able to prevent this unspeakable tragedy. One answer is that it was given on July 28, 1995, towards the end of the slaughter, given by UN General Bernard Janvier, who declared that, je répète, qu'il n'y a jamais été demandé aux forces des Nations Unies de défendre les zones de sécurité. D'ailleurs, les moyens qui étaient nécessaires pour cela n'ont pas été accordés à travers les résolutions antérieures. En revanche, avec l'aide de l'OTAN, nous pouvons dissuader de toute attaque contre les zones de sécurité. End of quote from General Janvier. Let us see if the excuses given by him hold up in the light of the record. Let us see if it was true that UN forces were never tasked to defend the safe areas and were not given the means to do so. First, there was an agreement dated April 18, 1993, 2 years earlier, signed by Lieutenant General Ratko Mladic, head of the Bosnian Serb Armed Forces, who has been indicted by the International Criminal Court for the former Yugoslavia, but who is a fugitive. This agreement was also signed by Bosnian Commander General Halilovic and by Lieutenant General Lars-Erik Wahlgren, representing the UN Protection Force, known by its acronym of UNPRO-4, UNPRO-FOR. The agreement called for the demilitarization of Srebrenica, where, quote, no armed persons or units except UNPRO-4 will remain within the city once the demilitarization process is complete, unquote. 2 days earlier, on April 16, 1995, a unanimous Security Council, acting under UN Charter Chapter 7, had demanded in Resolution 819, quote, that all parties and others concerned treat Srebrenica and its surroundings as a safe area, which should be free from any armed attack or any other hostile act. Also, the Security Council demanded quote, the immediate cessation of armed attacks by Bosnian Serb paramilitary units against Srebrenica and their immediate withdrawal from the areas surrounding Srebrenica. Also demanded was, quote, that the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, Serbia, and Montenegro immediately cease the supply of military arms, equipment, and services to the Bosnian Serb paramilitary units in the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, unquote. The resolution also, quote, condemns and rejects the deliberate actions of the Bosnian Serb party to force the evacuation of the civilian population from Srebrenica and the surrounding areas, as well as from other parts of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, as part of its overall abhorrent campaign of, quote, ethnic cleansing, unquote. A Security Council follow-up mission reported that, quote, the water supply must be resumed. Today, this is, if possible, a greater human value and priority than the withdrawal of the Serb forces. Cutting off the water supply is a criminal practice, and the Council should demand its immediate cessation. Not to do so would be tantamount to condemning the people of Srebrenica to abject conditions and more human misery. Not to allow surgeons to enter and stay in Srebrenica is also a grave violation of international humanitarian law, unquote. Quote, Srebrenica is one of the oldest cities in Europe and one with a truly ecumenical vocation. It is a symbol of plurality where Serbs, Croats, Jews, and Muslims have coexisted for centuries. This capital of all the peoples of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina should immediately become a safe area. The one-year siege must be terminated. The multicultural character of the city must be guaranteed. It will be a message of hope to the whole country, unquote. Friends, that's all for this June 14th issue of United Nations Week, News and Views. We'll be back with the next issue. Meantime, do send along your comments on these or other UN-related issues to www.unweek.blogspot.com. Goodbye for now, and thanks very much for watching.